Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. This is your tarot reading for the week ahead whenever you're finding it. If you're watching along as I post because you're subscribed, this is for the week of May 13th to the 19th, 2024. So let's dive into it. We're going to be pulling 6 cards, 2 rows of 3 from the Dreams of Gaia tarot for you today. All right, 2 cards just popped out. First we have, wow, that's so weird. The first card is self, and then the second card is perception, and it forms that phrase self-perception, how you view yourself. So that is absolutely a crazy synchronicity. But let's unpack it one by one. Looking at the self card first, we see someone in a meditation with her heart chakra opening up in this golden light. We have 3 doves, or are those doves? Yes, above her head, which to me represents who we are in a group of people. We have 2 dragons surrounding her, our intellectual selves, and just this beautiful pedestal she sits on that grounds her into her physical reality. So there's so many different perspectives, so many different facets of who you are as a person, and there's just so many different versions of you that come out depending upon the environment you're in, the people you're surrounded by, the things that you're doing. And I feel like this week you're sort of questioning which people and which environments, which things that I'm doing brings out the best versions of me, the ones that I like the most. And all I can do is give a personal example for this. I was thinking about this myself recently. I give the most personal examples for signs that I relate to. Like Aquarius is my rising sign, so that's why I give you so many examples if you're wondering. But recently, I was thinking, like, one of my favorite versions of me is the version of me that makes these YouTube videos and can connect to these higher powers and higher spirits. And I was thinking to myself, like, I want to do that more. And there's certain people in my life who I feel like, while yes, they have interesting wisdom that I love connecting with, or interesting aspects about them, do I really like who I am with them and what I'm doing with them? And I've been sort of questioning this, and I see you questioning this in your own life as well. Wanting to feel wise, wanting to feel sexy or attractive or passionate, creative, whatever, you're really paying attention to how you feel about yourself and your self-image when you're around certain individuals. Oh my gosh, this just made so much sense for me. I know this isn't a personal reading, but guys, I connect to you so much. I literally just had a dream last night where I felt very underdressed to a really big event. Like, everyone around me was wearing gowns and beautiful makeup and hair. I was wearing sweatpants, and like I looked like a bum. And there was like certain people in the dream around me, and I feel like that was totally like a sign of me not liking the personality traits within me that come out around those people, or how they make me feel about myself, the parts of me that they bring out. Now, this is sort of a double-edged sword of a piece of wisdom, because on one hand, yes, we want to be around the people who make us feel good about ourselves, but on the other hand, sometimes, especially in deep romantic relationships or very intense friendships, like the closer we get to someone, they can really illuminate our shadows from within. If we haven't done enough healing, enough work to understand ourselves and where we come from, when we start falling deeply for someone, they can really bring out some of our biggest fears, traumas, and things like that as well. And that's not necessarily a sign that it's their fault. They're just bringing out an aspect of ourself. So I think it's important, number one, to really keep a close conscious eye on people bringing out the less desirable traits that you have within yourself and how they make you not feel good, because at the end of the day, they're not doing that. It's your own personality that is making you feel that way, your own insecurities or whatever that makes you feel that way. They're just the trigger for what already exists within you. So we can't sit here and blame people for our feelings, number one. But number two, I think it's just, I don't know where I was going with that. Just pay attention to that. Keep a close conscious eye on that. And embrace the fact that sometimes we have connections that, yes, trigger us, but they can still stay in our lives because we experience so much personal growth connecting with them. And so I especially would pay attention to people who trigger you, but also make you feel loved and strong, and recognize those qualities within yourself. Definitely pay attention to any strong reactions and emotions that you have around anyone, and I feel like the perception card really just hammers that message in here. It's just your perception that someone may be bad for you, when in reality, everything and everyone is really neutral. Everyone has their light attributes and their shadow attributes. And I will say, there are some people who are more consciously aware of their light and shadow attributes, and they can integrate those attributes much more beautifully and gracefully. It's the people who tend to want to pretend like they don't have that shadow side, where that shadow side really rules over them. So it's all about our perception, guys. It's all about our perception, how we choose to view people, and how we also choose to view ourselves, and what parts of ourselves we sit with. So let's see, what is your third card out? These are 2 major arcana cards, by the way, as your first 2 cards. Very significant. Wow, we have the 4 of Earth in reverse. This is really significant as well, because this card came out for, I'm pretty sure, every single sign that I filmed so far, and you're sign number 6. So there you go. This is all about trying to build a stronger foundation for yourself, and just making sure that you have a good foundation. What is a good foundation? Having a solid amount of alone time to rest and heal, having a solid financial ground, so that way you can take care of yourself in an emergency and in everyday life, having solid emotions and emotional regulation, so that way other people's actions and behaviors aren't going to completely control you. Okay, creating an emotional stability within yourself, as well as a physical stability, with your physical health, with your finances, everything. I feel like you're building that foundation this week, or trying to build that foundation in some area of your life. So a lot of you will be working hard to save up money, pay off debts, just build your financial life. Okay, this could also be physical health, creating the habits that will create a good physical foundation. This could also be psychological, developing the coping mechanisms and habits that will keep you psychologically healthy. I see all of you doing this at this time, and it's incredible. I love it. Also, building up strong foundations in friendships and relationships that you really admire, so that way it continues. And speaking of Aquarius, your 4th card out, 2nd row of cards, we have love upright. Incredible. Similar to Libra's reading, a lot of you guys are really, really connecting heart to heart with someone. I see this sort of flower. Look, this is a rose that's blossoming, but it's only just begun. There's so much more beauty to come from it, and I love that. And this moon here, it shows an intuitive, just urge to connect with this person, which I think is so beautiful. And we see the butterflies, which represent that transformation, even though some shadow elements may come out with this connection, with this companion. You're going to both transform as a result of this relationship. It's just so beautiful. And it's 2 people who are very free in your own right. You could be connecting with someone who has a lot of significant air placements as well, just like you. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and that would be Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, okay? Very beautiful connection here, and we even see that like watery energy. They could also be physically stunning, and you could be very physically stunning. Like when the 2 of you are together, like people look at you. I really feel like beautiful people enhance other people's beautiful traits. Like if you stand next to someone who's a 10 out of 10, you're also gonna look like a 10 out of 10. It's a really, like physically, you're both really beautiful. But also there's just so much love here, which is great. So I definitely feel like this is a great opportunity for self-love this week, but even romantic love, familial love, friendship love of all kinds is really standing out here. And I love this reading for you so far. Beautiful. Okay, we have your final 2 cards. They came out face down. And they are, oh my gosh, the King of Water. Okay, we also have water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And this is very beautiful. I mean, and this is also energy that you're connecting with within yourself. Having healthy boundaries, okay? And you know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing a love that is not super fast moving. There may have been a really long build up to this, slowly getting to know each other, not necessarily hanging out every day or talking every day, but it's because you both have healthy boundaries. And this, like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could also be friendship, whatever. I feel like just overall in life, you're in this state of mind where you're not forcing any connections. Like, if it is meant to be, it'll be, and it'll unfold slowly and beautifully. Like, I think back to all of my best friendships and companions, they all gradually built over years, honestly. Like, I was not best friends with someone the same exact year that I met them, okay? It's a long process of developing a familiarity, building healthy trust. And I feel like the friendships that we build that are the healthiest, we don't even try, especially if you're somebody who has a history of unhealthy connections. It's the ones that you don't try that build the most because you're not trying to force it. You're not chasing it. It just develops very naturally. And trust is something that can develop naturally. Some of you guys may have a problem where you may, one or the other, or maybe even both, you may have very healthy friendships generally. And you're quick to like cut people off that don't serve you or who are toxic, and then you have like really toxic romantic relationships or vice versa. Okay. And I feel like you're integrating the healthy behaviors that you have in whichever type of relationship or connection, and you're incorporating that elsewhere. I'm seeing a really great emotionally mature partnership coming up though. This could be romantic partnership, and this could also be a business partnership. And it's very creative, it's very spiritual, intuitively connecting. We're seeing two moons here. Okay, so you may actually connect when it comes to your spiritual perception of the world or your creative perception of the world, and wanting to be a person of a like creative life and living and connecting so deeply with that. And then final card out, we have the Six of Air in reverse. Very interesting card aesthetically. We see the light element, we see the shadow element, and it goes back to what we were just saying, where everyone has this. And the most powerful connections that we have in life are ones where we can unite these two elements of ourselves consciously, and we can point out to each other like, hey, this is what I love about you, here's your light attributes, but also here's where I think you can develop and grow. Having connections where we can say that and do that, it's just the most profoundly healing things we can do for ourselves here. And another thing that I'm seeing here is that you have a choice this week to head to calmer waters. Because Aquarius, I feel like if you're watching this, you definitely had some unhealthy either like behaviors, lifestyles, relationships in the past. And that is why you're on a shaky foundation right now, not really knowing where the future will go for you, where the future stands. And, this is a week to decide to build that foundation within yourself and build a healthy foundation in connections as well. Say yes to these connections, say yes to this life that's constantly developing. I don't know why, another thing that just popped into my mind is this: you may either connect with people like this or you're like this, where if your life is not perfectly in order, like you aren't sure about your job situation or you're not sure about your living situation or where that will lead, you may completely shut yourself down to joining relationships, connecting with people, whatever. And if that has been a mentality of yours, or you linked up with people with that mentality, I feel like that's coming to an end, because that's so unhealthy, honestly. And some people are going to disagree with me, but whatever. I feel like because life is never certain, there's always going to be things in your life that aren't certain. I can't promise you that my business is going to be around tomorrow. The whole internet might go down. I can't promise you where I'm going to live at the end of the year. I might spontaneously move. I might do this. I might do that. There's always this element of uncertainty in life. And when you fear that uncertainty and you refuse to live your life because of that, wanting to make sure that everything is perfectly set in stone and right and perfect before you start saying yes to life, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. So it's important to say yes, even though you may not feel 100% certain all the time. I don't think there's anything that's 100% guaranteed ever in life. And you can do both. Like, you can develop a great, healthy, best friendship or romantic partnership while you're still building your healthy foundation for yourself. Just keep focusing on the self, as well as, and oh my God, this goes back to the very first card, focusing on the self as well as who you are in these group environments. So beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to leave you here. Definitely watch for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs to get the fullest overview of this week ahead. Like this video, comment how it resonated down below, and subscribe to the channel if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there and spiritual life coaching sessions there, so check it out. Bye-bye.